Ghislaine Maxwell and Israel are the key, ladies and gentlemen. Now, ask yourself the question: how did Ghislaine Maxwell become Ghislaine Maxwell? Well, this might partly answer your question.
He was in the habit of, after lunch, sending for a girl who would come to his sitting room, and the doors would be locked from the inside. It suggested to me and others that were close to RM that it was just a fantasy relationship with these young girls.
And afterwards?
I understood that presents were given to the girls, yes.
What sort of presents?
Jewellery.
Is it sort of thank you presents?
Thank you presents, yes.
Proves that. Lonely.
Oops. Robert Maxwell was a pedophile, ladies and gentlemen. And I have no doubt in my mind that Ghislaine Maxwell was abused. Now, Ghislaine Maxwell was also Robert Maxwell's favourite daughter. Of course, he named his infamous boat the Lady Ghislaine. Now, when some people are abused, they either fight against abusers and try and protect children for the rest of their life, or they become abusers themselves because they want to take some of the power back that was taken from them, and they become sociopathic, and they want other people to feel the pain that they felt. Now, the abuse is nowhere near. I'm not offering an excuse for what Ghislaine Maxwell has done, and I never will. But I'm just offering you an explanation. Also, in my opinion, the reason for Robert Maxwell's death was he raided the pension funds of Zytek, an Israeli company partly owned by him and partly owned by the pension funds. But was it really owned by him, or was it owned by the Israeli government, in turn owned by the Mossad? That's the question you've got to ask yourself. Because shortly after he raided those pension funds, he ended up jumping off the end of his boat, so to speak. So, let me see if I can just find this. Okay.
A telephone call from him, a subdued tone of voice, and why are people trying to destroy me? Tell me why. He thought there was a conspiracy to destroy him.
During the night of 29th October, Maxwell decided to fly to be a vintage Maxwell show.
In my view, they were both consummate actors.
That's right. Right.
The problem is, of course, he was actually taking the money and used it for somebody else's benefit.
But why didn't you find that out?
Well, it's too simple to say he didn't tell us. But he had the systems in place which ensured that really it was not easy to find out.
But why didn't you challenge those systems?
I wanted to believe him. Oh, now we can see, yes, we were fobbed off.
Worried by his director's questioning, Maxwell feared that they would reveal the truth. Unsure whether the high salaries had bought their loyalty and silence, he summoned his security chief.
He was saying, can I listen into this particular
Here it is, it's coming up.
Always, yes, of course I can. But he asked me if we could tap the phone, which we did. But those taps proved nothing.
To silence the bank's demands for repayment of debts, Maxwell and Kevin sold more pension fund shares. The shares in Cytex, an Israeli high-tech company, were owned partly by Maxwell and partly by the pension funds. But when Maxwell sold the shares, he claimed to own them all and pocketed £139 million.
Dies a few months after selling the Zytec shares and pocketing £139 million. Coincidence? I don't think so. I don't think so at all. Right. They weren't. It wasn't. The company wasn't partly owned by him at all. He was just the front man. It was owned by the Mossad. He betrayed the Mossad by selling those shares, and he ends up dead. Come on, it's pretty easy to figure out that one. Pretty easy to figure out that one, I'd say. He just went too far, didn't he? He just went too far. And of course, Ghislaine, knowing that this had occurred, and of course her brother's ending up in jail, the Mossad probably gave her an ultimatum and said, you either join us or you're going to end up over the edge of the boat too. And of course, knowing that Maxwell and Epstein had been dating since 1988, and of course the Mossad knowing that about Jeffrey Epstein's proclivity for children, put them two together and used Ghislaine Maxwell as a handler and recruited Epstein to blackmail leaders, celebrities, you name it, everyone around the world for the Mossad's benefit. But make no mistake, I'm sick of everybody talking about Epstein, because Epstein's an idiot. Even in Polly's video, she explained how they would listen to Epstein trying to pretend about that he knew what he was talking about, and they would all laugh at him, but they would all placate him because they wanted his money for their research projects. Ghislaine has run the whole show for the Mossad from the beginning. Epstein is just a tool, and he always has been. A disgusting tool, a pedophile, an evil man nonetheless, but just a tool. Ghislaine has run the whole operation. And of course, there's rumours that Ghislaine has either applied or seeking or has sought asylum in Israel, and I'm not surprised because Ghislaine Maxwell knows it all. She could bring down and name all the British spies, probably all the Israeli spies in America and all around the world, and bring the whole show down. And the deep state cannot and will not allow that to happen. Will not allow that to happen. Jeffrey Epstein was not really a Mossad agent. He was too dumb for that. He was a tool of the Mossad. Ghislaine Maxwell was a Mossad agent and run the whole blackmail operation for the Mossad through Jeffrey Epstein. And Robert Maxwell was an agent of MI5, the KGB and the Mossad. The apple doesn't fall far from the tree. ladies and gentlemen, that is all.